Hi there, folks. I'm going to go over some of the things we talked about in today's Zoom meeting regarding the development of Essay 1 for those of you who missed it. The first thing I like to do is show you the Essay 1 assignment sheet. I'm just going to open this using Preview and just go over some of the basics about the requirements for this particular essay assignment. So this is an argument. For this particular assignment, you're going to be asked to write an argument about the topic of American consumerism. And your argument will take a position in this debate posed by this rhetorical question that you'll find in Bloom's article. He very clearly comes down on this side of the debate. He believes that the way we consume in our society contributes to human uplift, that it improves our lives, to human powers, that the ways in which we consume and have done so historically empower human beings and help us to create the history of Western civilization, something that he thinks is a source of great pride and progress for us. But your job is going to be to develop a thesis that states your position in this debate. Is the lust for consumer goods self-destructive, as Derek-Kashani and Flood would argue? Are we literally destroying ourselves? Is it predatory? Okay, does American consumerism encourage the preying on other people by some? And yeah, you'll make up your mind about where you stand in that debate and then state that in your thesis for this particular essay. And it's 3 to 5 pages. It's got to be at least 3 pages long. That's the minimum. If it's less than 3, it won't receive a passing grade. Okay. And here's the source requirement. You need to cite at least 4 of the assigned articles that we will have covered in the class by the time you get started with the planning and drafting stage of this process. So I've given you 5, or we'll have, Twitchell, Flood, Kilborn, Derek-Kashani, and Bloom. Of those 5, you need to cite at least 4. Now that's a minimum, okay? That's one of the minimum requirements to receive a passing grade on this assignment. You can refer to all 5 of them if you want, but you need to refer to at least 4. And then in addition to that, you need to find at least 1 source on your own. And this source can be anything. It can come from anywhere, any sort of credible source, any source that you judge to be credible for use in an academic argument. It can come from the college databases. Let me show you how to access those just in case. All right, so I'm at the Cabrillo College website, and down at the bottom is a link to the library, and there's articles and databases right there. And the way you get into that is by choosing your database, any database, and then signing in with your student ID. And that takes you into the databases where you can search for American consumerism. Okay, and this happens to be Academic Search Complete, which is a database that contains a lot of scholarly types of articles. This database right here, Opposing Viewpoints, contains lots of different kinds of articles. And if you go in here and you search for American consumerism, did I spell that the right way? I did. I didn't capitalize A, but that's okay. And search, you'll see that you get a bunch of different kinds of results here. There are some magazines, there's audio, okay, something that you can listen to, probably a radio show. There are academic journals that you can look at. There are viewpoints articles. This type of article these all represent different arguments on the topic. This one, for example, consumerism benefits American culture. You can tell that's going to be pro-American consumerism. This one, middle-class consumerism is not out of control. that's a kind of pro argument too, right? It's not a problem, don't worry about it. Kilborn and Flood and Derkashani, of course, would disagree with that particular viewpoint on consumerism. The age of the American consumer is over. You could click on this and see why, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's over because we have overconsumed. So then, Flood would be agreeing with this particular author, G.S. Evans, on that argument. Okay, but lots of different types here, news articles, all right? So your fifth source that you must find on your own, as I was saying, can be any type of source as long as it comes from a credible place, one of those databases, or you can use the internet. You can Google American consumerism and then peruse the results that you get and evaluate them for their credibility. All right, just make sure that they're trustworthy sources of information for you as a student writing an academic paper. All right, and then the rest of these things are things we've done already. We've done the pre-reading questions. I suggest you do a little bit of brainstorming about the topic, okay? And that'll help you zero in on the kinds of things that you still want to find out about the topic. That'll help you with your research for your additional source up here. And then this is something I want to spend a little more time talking about. This is a pro-con chart, the kind of thing we practiced doing earlier in the semester, where you come up with arguments on both sides of a debate, okay, drawing those from sources. So what's going to go in your pro-con chart that you're going to submit to Canvas, and I'll show you that assignment in a minute, excuse me, are the reasons that the authors give in support of their arguments for and against American consumerism. And what they're debating is about the mostly positive versus mostly negative effects. Effects meaning the kinds of things that happen because of the ways in which we consume. So you can see I've got all of Twitchell's points over here, or a lot of them. He says consumerism is good because. It's good because it's liberating. It's good because it's empowering for consumers. It's good because it's democratic. It's good because it's natural versus artificial, right? And of course, Flood, I could put Flood over here, artificial, and put Flood in the parentheses. Flood argues that our desire for things is manufactured, that we are being manipulated into wanting things that we don't really need. Whereas Twitchell says, no, we just want things. We love things, right? So what you want to do with your pro-con chart is continue filling this out, okay? Putting the reasons that the authors give into this chart on the side that they fall in the debate. And when you do that, it's a good idea to do what I've done here and identify the author's name and the page number where the author articulates this viewpoint in his or her text, so that you can locate that easily when you go to use these ideas to defend your argument about American consumerism. Okay, so that's this. And then the rest of this stuff is also stuff that you have assignments for in Canvas. All right, that should be self-explanatory. But what you need to do between now and when I see you again is these things right here. All right, you need to read and annotate The American Cult of Consumerism by Derkashani and In Praise of Consumerism by Bloom, and then do the quiz. And then here's the pro-con checklist assignment. All right, and right here is where you submit your checklist. And you can create one just like I've done here in Google Docs or in Word or whatever word processing system you want to use. Insert, table, I picked 4 squares, right? And then I just expanded this one, all right, to make a chart. Or you can do it by hand if you want, and then take a picture of it and submit that to this Canvas assignment right here. Okay, and that's due by the 30th. Okay. All right, let me see. Anything else here I want to talk about? And then Derkashani and Bloom discussion leaders need to develop and post their questions, and then all of the rest of you should look at them so that you can be prepared for small groups next week on Thursday. And I think that's about it. All righty. Okay. Have a good weekend, everybody.